Hello and welcome to the Dump and Chase podcast what episode are we at, Rebecca? I can't remember.
We are on
We never
episode
can.
6.
Episode 6. So we are doing our first one from home because of the good old stay-at-home order. So we're all in our different spots. But we are joined by senior Chris Estey today. So Chris, thanks for coming on, making time out of your day to talk a little bit of hockey with us.
No problem. It's good to be here.
So starting off, we always like to think of a more lighthearted question to ask to start off the interview. And the first thing that came to mind was what you are doing during the stay-at-home order to kind of pass the time.
A lot of what I'm doing consists of homework, but trying to do workouts with bands and video games.
Sure.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I was going to this interview. I'm like, oh, Chris is a senior. You know, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, he's already graduated. But I'm like, no, school is still going on. We still have like 6 more weeks of it.
Yeah.
Even though we're just at home, which is weird. So the way we like to do these, we like to start off with hockey first, and then kind of transition into more Lewis, and we got some more fun questions towards the end of it. But to start off, how old were you when you started to play hockey, and were there any forces or influences that got you into the sport?
So first off, the first time I put on a pair of skates, my dad told me I believe I was 3.5 or 4 years old. It was in our basement, and I would wear the skates around the basement with a little tiny mini hockey stick. So I would like skate around on the carpet.
Sure.
Big influences when it comes to hockey are my brother and my dad.
Okay.
Loved hockey, so they're the reason that I played.
Okay.
My dad didn't force it on me. They didn't force it on me. I just loved to play, you know.
Sure.
Just watching it and everything.
So what was kind of the main reason that you were drawn to the sport when you started to play?
Honestly, it was probably just the quickness, the skill, the abilities that, you know, players held. I can't pinpoint exactly what it was. But actually, I got a funny story for you.
Okay.
When I was a little kid watching my brother play, you know, all the kids would have their little brothers, you know, going to play around and shoot pucks around and whatnot. And my dad always told me that I would sit in the bleachers with them and watch them go back and forth. So
Sure. So starting from an early age.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So as your career progressed throughout the years, what made you want to continue to play hockey? Because I assume that, like most kids growing up, you played the whole range of sports, you know, that your parents would put you in. Was there anything that made hockey stand out, and kind of what made you keep going with it?
It was just the quickness of hockey. Like I played baseball up until 8th grade, took a couple years off and tried to go back in high school. It just wasn't the same.
Sure.
I've always been a fast kid on and off the ice.
Okay.
But it's just being on the ice was so attractive to me. I don't know really what it was.
Sure.
It was just so fun, you know, being on skates.
Yeah. As you went on, was there any player that you tried to model your play style after?
I would say probably Alex Ovechkin at first, because the way he was when he scored goals, it was so explosive and fun. He always looked like he was having fun. But
Sure.
And then Jonathan Toews came into the picture, and he's just such a hardworking centerman. So I tried to emulate him too.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to put both of them together.
Certainly. Is there anything specific throughout your career that you had to give up in order to keep playing hockey?
Actually, yes. I originally went to a private high school my freshman year. And then, you know, hockey in school was expensive. And my parents didn't want me playing at the high school at the time. I don't really remember what the reason was. But I played club hockey, and then I went to the private school, and it was too much. It cost too much money. So I was given the option to go to a public school and continue playing for the club hockey, and that's what I chose.
Sure. So your current number, you are 96.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose that number, and is there really any special meaning behind it?
So first of all, my favorite number is 9.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, I used to watch Paul Kariya.
Okay, sure.
And my dad said that I used to my eyes were always glued on him anytime we watched like the Ducks play.
Okay.
So that was my favorite number growing up, but I was never able to be that number because it was always taken.
Okay.
And I went to Highland Park Falcons. 9 was taken, so I picked up 19. I
Okay.
brought that number into juniors. And
Okay.
then went to college. 9 and 19 were taken. So I was like, I want to be 91. And then my dad was like, why don't you pick 96? It's your birth year and it's got your favorite number in it. And I'm like,
Sure.
okay.
And
I've never
it's
had a number that big. So
sure. It's been
I'll try.
96 ever since.
Yep.
There you go. Do you have any nicknames from the guys that they give you?
No, honestly, no, not
No?
really.
Okay.
No.
What role throughout your career do you think you've played on the team, both on and off the ice? Now, kind of, looking back at your career now that it's wrapped up, your senior year, what do you think your role for the team has been, and has it changed throughout your career as well?
I always feel like I've been like the energy guy.
Okay.
And it's been that way throughout my career. I've always been like the energy guy. I go out there and I just get hit, try and make plays. But as like junior and senior year come, I had to be more of like a leader for the younger guys.
Sure.
So it kind of changed from being that to more like a workhorse type of thing.
Okay.
It's just like Dylan. Me and Dylan play the same
Yeah.
way. We have a
Yep.
lot of energy when we play.
Yep. A lot of similarities.
And it's funny because we came from like the owner owned both the teams that we played for.
Okay.
They kind of have similar identities.
Sure.
But they're similar. So
Okay.
that's why me and Dylan get along so well.
Yeah. Do you have any pregame rituals that you did during the season to get you kind of locked in?
Yeah. What I would do is I would always, play sewer with the soccer ball.
Sure.
With the boys, try and get my legs moving. And then once we stretch is kind of when I dialed it in and got myself together. And then actually something that I changed this year, I started using like the loop bands to warm up my legs before the game.
Okay.
Especially rolling out. Rolling out was a really big deal for me, this year. It kind of helped me just feel like I was ready to get on the ice, go warm up, and then get right into the game.
Sure. Well, based on the numbers that you put up during the season, it must have helped for the better, as we could see. Do you have any favorite songs or favorite music genre you like to listen to before a game to get you kind of locked in as well?
I like more upbeat, like hip hop, or like electronic dance music.
Okay.
Occasionally, I'll change it up and go hard rock or metal.
Okay.
To ramp things up sometimes.
Sure.
But I mostly stick with rap and EDM.
Okay. If you could play another sport, let's say in college, what would it be and why?
So it would probably be lacrosse.
Okay.
Because one is so similar to hockey in its movements, but it's also so different because of the different plays that you have to run. It's got more space, more people.
Sure.
I actually played a little in high school as well.
Okay.
If I could have, that's one thing I would have done. I would have.
Sure. How many years in high school did you play lacrosse?
I played freshman year and then senior year.
Oh, okay, got it. Any reason for the gap in between?
Well, like I told you, I went from a Catholic school.
Okay.
To public. So the public school that I went to didn't have a lacrosse team. They were working on it, but they didn't have it.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. What would you say is the most important lesson that you've learned from playing hockey?
Keep your emotions in check.
Okay.
And discipline.
Sure.
2 things I really learned from hockey, especially junior hockey.
Mm-hmm. What team bonding activities take place for the team that you can speak of? Maybe, coming back to when you started playing at Lewis, or even that you've seen throughout your career.
Hell Week. So it's the week prior to when we start actually practicing, working out with the team. It's the first time you guys get together. Whether it be doing actual workouts with the team or going to team lunches, getting the team together even after all that. It's just it's a real quick way to bring the team together.
Sure. What would you say is your best skill as a player?
At first, I would say it was my physicality at first, but
okay.
Now I just say my awareness. It's just gotten so much. It's increased So I don't know. It just like my hockey sense went from
Sure.
like little to a lot higher. And honestly, I'd like to give tribute to the guys who are around me who helped me too. So
That's great. If you could have a skill from a teammate, what skill would it be, and who would it come from?
I would say Matt Ernsting, his hands,
Okay.
unbelievable.
We've seen him pull off some nasty dangles, yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to your junior career, you played for the Wisconsin Rapid River Kings of the USPHL. That is a name and a half now that I read it. Can you describe a little bit of the recruiting process, kind of how you get started with juniors and just kind of your hockey career kind of post high school, how that kind of all shaped its way to college?
So what happened was I went to a showcase called Mr. Hockey in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I didn't really think of much of juniors or anything like that, but
Okay.
I got approached by the head coach, Marty Quarters. At that time, they were the Central Wisconsin Saints in the MNJHL, and then they made a new team in Rapids.
Okay.
And I don't know what it was. It was just ever since then I was in contact with him. I went and visited Rapids. It's a small community,
Sure.
so they're tight knit. And it was hard to get into the community, but once we did, the community started to like us. We started doing more activities around the community. But getting into juniors, it wasn't really my goal at first.
Okay.
But it was more of an option to see if I could go to a different college or,
Okay.
just stuff like that.
Sure. Coming out of high school before juniors came along, what was kind of your goals coming out of high school? Was it just going to college and not really even worrying about juniors, it seems?
Yeah, at first it was like I just want to go to college and, get a degree and start
Sure.
my life. But, I went to juniors my senior year and I went to school up in Wisconsin, and then I took a year off and played one more year. So it just kind of gave me more time to think about college.
Sure. So was there ever, before juniors, was there ever the goal of playing college hockey, or was that kind of a product of playing juniors?
There was definitely a goal, but at one point it didn't seem realistic.
Okay.
Think about it. And
Sure.
then went to juniors and I learned, I just learned how to develop and even as a person, not just a hockey player, just kind of
Sure.
helped me realize, like, I need to do this in order to develop my life too.
Mm-hmm. So we know that there's a few other teammates from Lewis that played in the USPHL, Dylan Parshall, Zach Bishop. Did you ever play against any of them, and do you ever remember playing against them?
Honestly, I don't think I played either of them.
Okay.
And I might have played against Dylan, but I'm not sure. It was my last year.
Okay. Because how many years did you play in juniors? You played 2, you
I
said?
played 2.
Okay. So what was, you said you mentioned playing senior year. What was that kind of balance between wrapping up high school and being in junior hockey? How did that, I imagine that affected a lot of parts of your life, just kind of the balance that you needed to maintain.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I got to live with the coach and
Okay.
2 other of the players.
Okay.
So I was actually able to adapt real easy.
Okay,
so
sure.
what we did was we did school in the early mornings and afternoons, and then
Okay.
we had practice in the afternoons.
Okay, got it. So the school was kind of shaping around hockey as well.
Yeah, they were really cool about everything.
That's interesting. Okay. So let's see. We see that whenever you would score at Canlin, you'd always make sure to motion or skate over to your dad. That was always by the boards, it seemed, at every home game you guys had. Can you speak a little bit more on how big of an influence he'd been on your life, both on and off the ice?
He's the one who really pushed me to love hockey. So I just feel like I have to attribute my success to him.
Sure.
Not only him, but my mom too. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I point at her. And then also I point at my friends up top that to the left of you guys.
Yep.
But I don't know what it is, but he's always encouraging me to do better and be better.
Sure.
It's just something that I always look at.
That's great. So we have some more fun questions, hockey related. If you could have a player card in the NHL video game series, what would your highest rating category be?
My highest rating category? Probably speed.
Speed? Okay, sure. That makes sense. That's understandable. Let's see. What NHL team would you play for if you could?
Well, obviously the Blackhawks, but
Sure.
if I got a chance to play, I would probably go up to Canada just to
Okay.
experience the hockey, all the
Sure.
atmosphere.
Sure. Any specific Canadian teams you'd want to go for?
Um, Calgary or Winnipeg.
Okay.
I like
Nice.
the uniforms too.
Sure. Yeah. You can't go wrong with either of those.
Right.
If you were to play in the league, would you rather want the big accomplishment of your career to be a Stanley Cup or to be in the Hall of Fame?
Um, Probably the Stanley Cup
Sure.
because that's the goal. That's the major goal for
Yeah.
every team is to get there. So
That's kind of the answer we've been getting from a lot of guys. What is the strangest thing you've seen happen on the ice? Kind of your hockey oddity.
strangest thing I've seen. Oh man. Um, Honestly, I can't even pinpoint. Actually, here I
Okay.
got one.
Okay.
My junior year of high school, when I played for the Highland Park Falcons, we went to nationals in New Jersey,
Okay.
and we were in. It was, I think, it was before the quarterfinals, and we were playing a team, and our coach was obviously not being very nice to the other team because,
Okay.
I mean, tension is high in that type
Sure.
of atmosphere.
Of course.
Kid looked at our coach and said, "I'm shooting a puck at you." 10 minutes later, he shot a puck at him,
Oh my gosh.
rocketing at us. It
You,
was,
see-
it was the craziest thing.
you stay true to his word.
Oh, yeah, he got kicked
Gee.
out for that one.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Jeez. That may be our best answer for that one so far. Let's see. What is something interesting about you that people may not know? Maybe like a hidden talent or something.
Um, Hidden talent. I, I don't know. Maybe something that people don't know about me is that I used to love Legos. I don't know.
Okay. When you were
Um,
younger?
yeah, and
Sure.
it's funny because every time I go to Target or something, I'll walk past the aisle, I'll take a quick gander, and then walk away.
You always have to go down the Lego aisle.
Yeah, right.
I've been guilty of doing the same thing. It's always just that inner kid of you coming out again.
Absolutely.
um, is there any specific order that you put your equipment on? We've talked to some guys, kind of the pants versus or pants before skates or skates before pants kind of debate. Where do you fall on that one?
Um, so I always go my hockey socks, my skates, and then because I wear a girdle, I can
Okay,
like strap it on instead of
sure,
pull it up.
sure,
So that's what I do. I go skates and then pants.
got it. Because okay, you got the convenience of the girdle. We heard that from Partial too. Let's see. What is your biggest pet peeve in hockey?
Um, Biggest pet peeve on the ice would probably be watching someone go out and not put their effort out there, just kind of coast around.
Sure. Oh,
It just it makes me so angry.
we've heard that from your teammates as well about the whole mentality this past season was always given it 100% every time your skates hit the ice and just kind of, leaving nothing left
Right.
in the tank.
Well, yeah, it's just no matter your skill set, you can control how much effort you put out there. So if you're
Sure.
going out and putting 50% out, you got other guys going out there putting, their blood, sweat, and tears on the ice, but you're just kind of coasting around. It just
Yeah.
you need everybody. It's a balancing act. You need everybody to put that much effort.
Yep. Let's see. If a player from the Lewis team had to fill in and coach a game, for some reason the coaches couldn't be there, who would be the best option in your eyes?
Partial.
Partial? Getting the energy behind the bench?
Yeah, well, it's because his energy, and I feel like he knows what he's talking about.
Sure.
He knows the game. He sees it, because he played forward. Now he plays defense. He knows both sides of the game.
Sure.
He's a smart kid too. So
There you go. If you could participate in any skills competition in the NHL All-Star Game, what category would you choose and why?
so I got two. I got speed skating because I've always wanted to see how quick I am around the ice.
Okay.
And shooting accuracy because my
Okay.
accuracy has just gotten better within the last 4 years.
Sure. I don't know if we've heard the shooting accuracy one yet, Rebecca.
No, we haven't.
We've definitely heard speed skating, but shooting accuracy, that'd be a fun one to watch. If both goalies were to go down in a game and someone, a skater would need to jump in and go in between the pipes, who would be the best candidate for that one?
Honestly, I don't know. If I had to say somebody, it would be Partial or Bishop, just because they're defensemen and they block a lot of shots.
Sure. We've heard Partial a couple times, I believe.
Yeah, 3 times.
Partial.
Justin, Dylan, and Zach all said Dylan.
Someone said Darcy as well, correct? A couple guys did maybe.
David, Colton, and then Jack.
I could see Darcy doing it. Yeah.
Just having like that energy and that kind of run through wall energy. But Partial has that as well. Partial's got the upper hand too because he works at that goalie camp during the summer too.
Right.
So maybe there's a little bit of his goalie knowledge coming in there. Out of the 2 goalies from the season, Justin and Colton, who would make the better forward or defenseman if they would need to step into one of those roles?
I don't know. I've never seen Justin skate up.
Okay.
So I can't really.
Have you seen Colton skate up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I skated with him one year when he was forward. So I've seen
Okay.
he can shoot, but
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
We talked to Justin, and he mentioned that he played defense a couple games at his old school
that's right.
because he had to fill in there. But we also heard word that at some point during the season there was a skating contest between the two, and I believe it was Justin that just edged out Colton.
Oh
But
wow.
that's when they were going in full goalie gear, I believe. If my memory serves me right.
It's probably tough.
So some questions more about your teammates. Who has the worst tape job on the team?
Zach Bishop. he does this candy cane on the blade.
He does, yeah.
At first it started off as white, and then he went to black tape.
Okay.
But it works out for him. So
I was gonna say we had him and Partial on like a couple weeks before spring break, I believe it was, and we asked him about it.
Yeah,
He said
2 weeks.
It started out as a joke, but then he found that it was somewhat working, so he just stuck with it. So I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
right.
Who has the cleanest and dirtiest stall in the locker room?
Cleanest stall would probably Pickle has a pretty clean stall. Partial. The dirtiest stall was Pickowitz.
Okay.
Yep.
We've heard that one before.
Yeah, it wasn't very fun.
Who was that? I think it was Dylan and Zach that they said that he'll just come with more and more stuff and they don't know how it gets there, but then it'll just like miraculously disappear for road trips.
Mhm.
What does he all bring? Like, is it just like a ton of random stuff, or like?
So when we purchase new jerseys for the year, or we get a bunch of new socks, right? So we get to keep our old socks for practice.
Okay.
He would just pile hockey socks up, and I would do like, you have 10 pairs of socks, like bring it home.
That's great. Oh man, I can see it.
Were they at least clean?
That I don't know.
and you don't want to find out.
Yeah.
Last one. Who has the best and worst hair on the team?
Worst hair would have to be Pickowitz. Sorry, bud, but best hair, I would say probably Ernsting, because
Okay.
when he grows his hair out, he really doesn't have to do much.
That's true. Yeah, he just kind of had like the natural flow going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did see him. We were doing an interview with him for the recruiting video, and he got his hair. It was shortly after playoffs, so he cut his hair, and it was shorter. And he walked, and I'm like, oh my God, man, where'd all your hair go? You know, it was just like so different because the whole season we had seen him with the longer hair, and then he just comes with like the shorter cut, and we're like, okay, a little bit of change of pace there, bud. One that we don't have written down, but I'll ask, who has the best and worst style on the team?
On or off the ice?
Let's do both.
Oh, best off ice style would probably be Partial and Bishop.
Okay.
Also Darcy. Darcy's got really good style.
Okay.
Worst style. Might be Colton.
Okay.
He doesn't ever match, I noticed.
Colton seems just like a
really bright colors.
Colton just seems like a sweatshirts and jeans kind of guy, and that's just what he sticks with.
Yeah.
From what we've seen. How about style on the ice? I'm curious to see your answers for this one.
Best style on the ice. I could tell you the worst style would probably be Eric again,
Okay.
because
What part of it?
it would be the fact that like his socks are always baggy. He doesn't like tighten them,
Okay.
pads.
Okay.
And then like his gloves, he colored the Bauer in red, and it faded, and now it looks. And then, man, I don't know. I'd probably say Bishop has the best style on the ice,
Okay.
just
What?
because it just looks clean.
Okay. It's just kind of like he like the hockey gear just fits him well, and it
Yeah,
just looks like
it just looks clean.
that's good.
Yeah.
We have seen well, one thing we noticed when we were looking through footage for the recruiting video was the variation of sock tucks on the team.
Yeah.
Some
Mhm.
guys do just the tendon guard out and then the tongue in. Some guys do both out. Some guys tuck over both with the sock. What's your stance on that? Is there like an absolute no go for one of them or?
Um, as long as it looks okay, I really don't. Just as long as it's smooth. But I personally, I freshman and sophomore year, I tried to do the tongue out the flop,
Sure.
and it just wasn't. I just wasn't having it anymore. So
Okay.
I tuck the tongue in all the time now. It's just smoother for me to get dressed
Sure.
when I skate.
Sure. All right. So we'll switch over to kind of some school questions and just kind of we'll get to our more fun questions eventually. But first of all, what made you decide to come to Lewis? Was it the academics? Was it the hockey? Or was it kind of a mix of both?
So I got recruited by Coach Tim Pico
Okay.
originally, and I wanted to look at different schools. I didn't want to be set on one school, but then I got into the bridge program at Lewis, which kind of helped me make my decision.
Okay.
But I also noticed that like their graduation rate is pretty good. It's a pretty good school. So
Mm-hmm. Sure.
it was a mixture of both.
Okay. What is your major? And now that you're graduating in a couple months, what do you hope to do with the degree?
My major is exercise and movement science.
Okay.
I plan on becoming a strength and conditioning coach.
Okay.
First, I want to become a personal trainer.
Okay.
Which thing I'm going to work on over summer.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to be able to help athletes, kids get to their highest potential in sports or where they want to be.
Sure. Would you want to, someday kind of stay in hockey and help out hockey players with that?
I would love to stay in hockey, but I feel like just in that realm of sports and training and stuff, it's just hard to just be hockey specific at first.
Sure.
I'm just going to keep my mind open, but eventually I'd like to be specifically hockey.
What was it about exercise and movement science that drew you to the program or kind of that degree coming into college?
So originally I wanted to be a business administration major.
Okay.
Open a restaurant with my brother.
Okay.
He's a really good cook.
Okay.
So that was like my original goal. But I took a marketing class and it just wasn't for me. And I know there's other business classes.
Sure.
But it was just like that part of it just turned me off. So what made me go to exercise science was in high school. I always liked to exercise, and I got really close to our physical welfare director.
Okay.
He helped me with my form, making sure I was doing everything right. I even got to talk to our strength and conditioning coach at the time. And he was super cool. He would help me with workouts, explain stuff to me. He was super cool. And then I went into Lewis, and I met JD Maria, who has been a big influence on my life in general. So he's mostly the reason why I transferred to exercise science.
Okay. You kind of touched on this a little bit earlier in that answer. What teacher has been the most influential at your time at Lewis?
It's weird because we've had so many different teachers in our major because
Sure.
they're just trying to solidify it.
Okay.
I don't have a teacher at Lewis that's most influential on me yet.
Okay.
I'm not done with school, so I can't say it was this teacher more than that teacher yet.
Sure. Okay, that's fair. Last kind of school-related question. What goals did you set for yourself freshman year coming into college? Let's do on and off the ice. So one hockey, maybe one school-related. And now that you're getting close to graduation, how's the progress on them coming?
Well, something I always wanted to do, and juniors was be like a leader, like an assistant captain.
Okay.
And I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have the mentality. So I learned from there and brought it to college. And I was able to be more of a leader in college. So that's one thing, was become a leader.
Okay.
If it didn't mean having an A or a C on my chest, I just wanted to be there for the guys.
Sure.
So I definitely met that goal.
Okay.
And then off the ice was just graduate. I mean, not a lot of my family has graduated from college.
Okay.
I got family who's, got associate's degree, but not so many with bachelors.
Okay.
So that's one of my goals, is just to finish off and be able to get that bachelor's. And then actually I've been looking more into like a master's program, not right away after college, but
Okay.
on the line.
Taking a little time off, get into the field, and then come back for it. That's cool. What are 3 things on your bucket list that you want to do in your life?
Well, one of them is to visit Canada.
Okay.
Probably Hall of Fame would be.
Of course. Sure.
Another one would be to go to Italy.
Okay.
And actually, it's funny because I just did an assignment asking where I would like to go to visit cultural areas.
Okay.
In history class. And another one would be Japan. I have who's from, I believe, Okinawa, and she's just such a great person, and she always talks about Japan, and I just love to see the culture, everything.
Sure. So definitely a lot of traveling. What about Italy draws you to there?
Just the history.
Sure.
In Rome, and I don't know what it is, man. It's just everything about Italy just attracts me there.
Sure. Just all the history in it. Yeah. If you could invite anyone, alive or dead, to dinner, who would it be and why? And we throw a twist on this one. What would the meal be that you would serve?
I'm gonna need a second to think about this.
All right, take your time.
Honestly, it'd probably be Patrick Kane.
Okay.
Reason being because he's just such a great hockey player. So
sure. Just be able to talk hockey with him.
Yeah.
What would be the meal that you would serve for Patrick Kane? What do you think he'd like?
Meal that I would serve personally, I'd probably do like steak, broccoli, and potatoes. Just keep it simple, but
like that.
It's good.
Yeah. We have some good answers for this one. We had Partial and Zach on, and Partial went first and said Jesus, and that he would serve Jesus sushi. And then Zach went next, and much to the disappointment of Dylan, said Kevin Hart. And if you listen back and at that episode, Partial just goes off on Zach about choosing Kevin Hart compared to Jesus. It's hilarious. The goalie said the 2 goalies said the same person and the same food. They both said they would have dinner with Stephen Hawking, and they would serve it was spaghetti and meatballs, right?
Yep.
So they both said the same thing, and that was were they back to back too?
Yeah, they were back to back. I think there was a gap week in between the two.
They were back to back on the episodes, and I don't know. That was just like the stars aligned for that one or something. I don't know how that one happened, but if you could only keep one app on your phone, what app would it be and why?
One app. It'd probably be Twitter, just because it's got all the content and it's funny.
Sure. Twitter, yeah, especially now, like with all the stuff happening with the coronavirus and stuff, I feel myself going to Twitter more and more, because there's like, I don't know, I feel like they're doing like a good job keeping up with all the, like, as much of it changes so frequently.
Right.
What would be your top 3 burger toppings?
Top 3 burger toppings? Ketchup. Sometimes I just do plain barbecue sauce because I like to change it up.
Okay, sure.
But if I had to do 3 toppings with each other, it'd probably be ketchup, lettuce, and onion.
Keeping it classic.
Yeah.
I like it. If there were to be an arm wrestling tournament on your team, kind of bracket style, who would be the player that would come out on top?
Fiandaka.
Okay.
He's just such a naturally strong kid.
Sure.
So I believe that he could overpower.
Who else have we all heard for answers, Rebecca? I'm trying to think back.
We've heard Partial, Legis, Johnson. A couple people said Chris, and then Darcy.
That's right. This might be the first mention of Joey, though.
Yeah, I mean Joey looks like a skinny kid, but he's actually pretty strong.
I would say I feel like he's like the more like soft-spoken kid off the ice, but once you get on the ice, it's just full gas all the way through.
Yeah, it's like a switch turns on.
Yeah,
You know what?
I can totally see that. That makes so much sense.
I think Jack said Fiandaca because he had, and I quote, weird man strength.
Oh, I think that may have been it too. Now that you say that.
Yeah, he does have he's got like his hands are just so big. Like palms.
If you were stranded on an island and help is coming in 7 days, and you could bring 2 teammates along with you to help you make it through that week until help arrives, who would they be and why?
Well, honestly, Fiandaca, because he's a wildlife guy. You know, he likes to hunt.
Sure.
Like that. And then I'd probably bring Darcy or Partial because they're funny guys.
Sure.
Laugh and in good spirits.
Who said? Someone said Darcy because he would. If you found any new people on the island, he'd make friends with them, and then
Colton said that
too.
And then like the helicopter would come to pick you guys up, and he wouldn't want to leave because he would like so into the island life already. This is one that Rebecca found on some online list that I don't even know where it came from. I hate this question and love it at the same time. How would you react if you were transformed into a fish?
That would be pretty awesome. Swim around, so that'd be pretty cool. It'd be underwater for a while.
Jack brought up the question of what kind of fish you would want to be turned into.
Ooh.
If you could choose.
If I could choose a kind of fish?
For your random transformation into a fish, I suppose.
I don't know, but if I had to pick, it'd probably be a shark.
Shark? Sure.
That's what he said too.
Yeah, Jack thought a shark, yeah. I don't know if a shark is a fish, but I don't know. We'll kind of loosen up the rules.
We'll count it.
Yeah, we'll count it. We don't want to get too technical with the fish question. If you could spend the day in any of your teammates' shoes, who would it be and why?
Honestly, probably Matt Sharp, because sometimes I just want to know what he's thinking. He's just got like a goofy laugh, and
okay.
I always wonder what it's about, but he's kind of a clown. So
we've heard Matt Gore a couple times.
Because he's a quote living myth, according to Partial.
Yeah, Partial. Who else have we had?
Morrow, because he's kind of a nerd but really smart. Partial and Darcy because they're both really funny. And then Ed Lane because he's always happy and they want to know what's going on in his head.
That would be good. Get inside of a goalie's head. One question that we came up with when we were writing these yesterday. We've seen you around campus at the Den a lot. Mm-hmm. When we were, obviously now we're not on campus anymore, but when you would go to the Den, what's your go-to meal?
Honestly, it used to be wings.
Okay.
But I kind of changed it up just because, 4 years of fried wings just too much. So the two that I would do is a burger and fries.
Okay.
Or I would do the boneless. Or one of my favorites was I used to go and get on, I think it was Sunday nights, I would go and get bone-in wings.
Okay.
Buffalo with ranch.
Nice. One thing, now that your career at Lewis is over, senior year this past season, what have been kind of your highlights of your time at Lewis?
Definitely just the experiences with the guys. You get a lot of guys from different areas, even different areas in Illinois. So just being able to hang out with them on and off the ice, get to know people. And then even outside of hockey, it's been really fun.
Sure. Are there any games that stick out in your mind as kind of being like more kind of solidified memories of ones that, you really want to remember? Maybe like it was your first game with Lewis, or kind of, maybe a bigger game during your season that you remember?
One was freshman year, my first game when we played the Cougars. I remember I scored, but I don't remember if they called it back or not. It was my first game. I was still wearing my junior hockey gloves. I didn't have Lewis gloves yet.
Okay.
And another one was actually this year, the breast cancer game where I scored 4 goals.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because my dad's mom, so my grandma, passed away with cancer.
Okay.
And he wasn't at the game, and the spot where he normally stands was empty. And then I went out there and I scored 4 goals. It just kind of was like she was there watching over me play.
That's really cool. Yeah, I remember watching that game that night, and I'm like,
that was one game that I probably will never forget.
Yeah, that was special. You could see that you were just buzzing with energy too. That was special. So one thing we've added to the show recently is when we're done asking the questions, when we want to flip it onto you, if you have any questions to ask us that you may have thought of.
I got a couple questions for you guys. I want to know where, like, how you guys got into like media and, you know, sports like that.
Okay. I'll go first, I guess. So it kind of started for me in high school. I was part of FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America, freshman year. And I had to choose, you do like competitive events. So I had to choose the event that I wanted to be in. And there was one that was, I think it was called digital video production. And I put that down as my third choice, but because there were upperclassmen in the 2 events that I put first and second, I ended up getting that one. And like, I really wasn't too happy at first. I'm like, I really want to do the other events, you know, because I don't feel like I know enough to do, you know, this video one. But then I got into it and just kind of seeing the creative process behind it really like interested me. Ended up going to nationals for it freshman and sophomore year, did it again junior year. And it kind of just took off from there, and I started to do more video work. I slowly became the kid that every time we had a class project, it was always a video that I do instead of like a PowerPoint or something boring like that, because I just found it a different kind of more exciting way to kind of show what I wanted to. And then just kind of transferred over to college with broadcasting and wanted to kind of continue that. How about you, Rebecca?
Not nearly as long as that. I had a little bit with video and photo editing in high school, but I actually came to Lewis for a different major and then hated that one, so I transferred in. I was actually going for interactive media, but I was convinced by 2 of our professors here to go broadcasting. And one of the first games I ever worked was, I think it was a volleyball game, and I just loved it. So I kept getting involved. And then this year when we had the opportunity to work for you guys, I'm a big hockey fan, so I kind of jumped on that opportunity, and I'm actually interviewing for a hockey internship right now to do broadcasting. So hopefully that pulls through and I can do that for a living.
There you go.
I hope it does.
All right, what else you got for us, Chris?
What was your guys' favorite part of the season?
Oh, favorite part of the season. I got to think. Oh, wow. This makes me remember how long the season was, too. Like, it started back. Oh, man.
I think for me, it's not necessarily like one game or like one moment. It's kind of just how welcoming you guys were to us. I know doing some of those other team broadcasting those other teams, they don't really interact with us. They don't really talk to us at all. So kind of walking into the rink, having you guys, whether it was say hi, cheering, just talking, was a really exciting experience.
I agree. I have 2. I think the first one for me was the Hockey Fights Cancer Night as well, just kind of seeing that atmosphere. You know, you could tell that there was kind of something special that night. That was really cool to see. And then I'd say after the first home series that we broadcasted, because there was a lot of, I know me coming into it, and I imagine that Jake, who called the games with me, could kind of speak to this as well. There's a lot of like skepticism going into it because you're like, okay, we've never done hockey before. You know, we don't know a ton about the team. Don't know if this is going to go really well. If it's not, you know, how this is going to all happen. And I don't know, we kind of walked away from that weekend kind of thinking like, okay, this is going to be a good season. You know, you played really well that first series. We're like, okay, they're a good team. You know, they can play. You know, this isn't like, we also weren't really sure going into it because, you know, you guys are classified as club hockey, you know, so we really didn't know what that would all entail. You know, but once you kind of got there, we're like, okay, this is the real deal. You know, this is college hockey, you know, so that kind of solidified it. And now kind of just watching it grow as well from just doing the radio broadcasts. Now we had, you know, the YouTube live streams now, you know, working with the recruiting video and stuff and the team being as welcoming. That was really special to see.
Right. Yeah. I agree with everything that you guys said. It's been a blast having you guys with us. You know, having like the media portion of this, it's cool to see how to interact, not only with you guys, but with our fans. And
sure.
You know, I had a little bit of this in juniors, but much. So it's kind of just cool to see how it's grown. Even
Yeah.
when you guys started, and like you said, you didn't know. And then how it just kind of, we all just kind of came together, and we're all, we accept you guys
Yeah.
accept us, and it just, we kind of click,
Yeah, it's been great seeing the reception from you guys too, because a lot of times we'll show up to like the gym or something for a volleyball or basketball game. We kind of set our table up, call the game, do our thing, get out and leave. There's nothing too special, but seeing the interaction that we've had with you guys, and being able to do player and coaches interviews, those have been cool as well. To connect with you guys and kind of give people that are listening or watching something a little bit more has been really cool, because it really helps, because both Rebecca and I want to go into hockey broadcasting someday. So it's been great that you guys have given us a little creative freedom as well.
Right.
Anything else for us?
No, not yet.
One thing I do want to touch on that I forgot about, when we were this was when we were filming Dylan's class for the recruiting video. We were going to go into the same room as you had the class in like the big gym.
Oh, the Borromeo gym?
Yeah. Dylan's class was going in there right after you guys were done, and he saw you in the hallway and referred to you as Christy Estifer. Now he wanted to ask you behind the origins of that name.
So it's like a mixture of my names. So
Sure.
Christopher and Estey, and I don't know how it came about, but I believe it was him and Pickle, or it was Pickle that just started calling me that.
and it's just kind of been that.
Yeah, and that actually, you asked about nicknames. That's probably one of them.
Okay.
That, I forgot to mention, but
that's like the nickname.
They don't call me that all the time, but occasionally they'll just be like, "Hey."
That's good. One thing I also forgot about. You had a separated collarbone, correct? Towards the end of the season.
Bone. Yeah, separated collarbone.
How's the recovery been for that? Because that happened. What was that? Second to last series in the season?
Yeah, it was
if
against.
My memory serves me right.
Against DePaul.
Okay. So how's the recovery been going for that?
The recovery, it was really tough.
Sure.
Especially the first week, because I didn't go to the rink at all because I was in pain. I was taking painkillers. I just didn't want to be around the team.
Sure.
Like on type of medicine like that. It was just. And then I just slept a lot the first week, and it was really tough at first. It was almost like my senior year was completely over.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be a tough blow. You obviously didn't go to the Marion road trip. I can't remember back. Did you play in playoffs or not, or were you still?
I did. I wasn't supposed to.
Okay.
I played probably like anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. I just played power play.
Sure. Just being able to get out there one last time. We talked to Partial about the type of injury you had, and he said that it was separated at the sternum, correct?
Yeah, the sternoclavicular joint.
How does something like that happen? Because I was kind of confused by it as well. Like,
it just, honestly, I don't know. It just depends on the force that is acted upon it. So it was strictly from being hit the way I was. It was straight in the chest, so it just popped out a little.
So is there anything more that you need to do to get back up to 100%, or are you up there or on your way? Or because I know we talked to Partial and he mentioned the possibility of surgery, but that was really early on, so I don't know what it looks like now.
So, like, I went to the doctor, I got the x-rays, and then I had to go to an orthopedic, and he's like, well, if it went the other way, it would have been a huge issue because it would have been towards my heart.
Okay.
Which would have needed surgery, or if it was like a bigger separation.
Okay.
But because the separation wasn't big enough for surgery, I didn't need it. So what I did was I literally just rested. I didn't do it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just strictly you rest and you let it settle in and you let the ligaments and stuff, everything come back together.
Wow. That's crazy. One last thing that I was thinking about before, but I almost forgot. Now that your college hockey career is over, what does the future of hockey look like for you? What do you hope to do?
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure I'm coming back next semester.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I have a couple more classes I need to do.
Okay.
So I'm looking at playing one more semester. So we'll
Nice.
see.
All right.
It depends on if I can do my internship this summer.
Okay.
This whole COVID thing, it might
Sure.
be back, or might have to be done in the fall. So
Okay.
it just really depends on what I can do with my internship, because I already have that set up,
Okay.
but because of what's going on,
Sure.
there's no contact. So
Sure. Sure.
but outside of that, I honestly might go try and play like semi-pros,
Okay.
because I was talking to you earlier about Jason DeMaria. He's the one who's been pushing me to do that kind of stuff. It's just tough with what's going on right now to
Sure.
what I really want to do.
What does the path to playing semi-pro kind of look like? How does that, like, like what kind of leagues are there for that, and how do you kind of make
There's
that jump?
leagues. There's the Federal League. There's the SPHL, just like little stuff like that, and it might get you exposed to like the ECHL, and
Okay.
then maybe even overseas stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I know really.
Sure. Sure. But just trying to stay on the ice as well.
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, Chris, it's been great having you on. Hopefully we see a little bit more of you in the fall
Yeah.
on the ice for the Flyers. But it's been great getting to sit down with you today, even though, we couldn't be back in the studio, but I think our good old Zoom call worked out quite well. So this was, what episode were we on? I can't remember now. 5, 6? 6?
6.
I don't know. My weeks are completely thrown off now with spring break and now having our gap and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this was episode 6. We may have some more depending on what guys are all involved. So if you want to pass some word along to your teammates that there are still plenty of spots open to be on the show, please do so. I don't know. We had a whole nice schedule laid out before, we went online for the rest of the semester, and that's been thrown out the window. So that's been great. But it's good that we were able to have some time to talk some hockey with you, and we look forward to hopefully seeing some of you in the fall, and best of luck in the future.
All right, Reid and Rebecca, thanks so much for the opportunity.
Perfect.
Hopefully
Not a problem. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.